Each and every one of you in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora and elsewhere, friends all. Today, I have two in mind whether it was to do another follow-up to be speaking to the Guyanese in Guyana and out of Guyana. And for some reason, I hesitate, but I said, let me do it again, to call upon the two major races to unite for a better future for their children. When I look at Facebook coming out from Guyana, I think about all kinds of things. It is time for we to be more civilized and look back into the past with Burnham and others and the Jagans and ask yourself, are you benefit from anything during the leadership of those people? Of course not. You have widened the gap of not to trust you because of the past. Racism exists under the Burnham government, not Hoyt, even though it was embedded into most of the blacks. But I keep on saying it over and over. And to prove to you that I have traveled a lot of places and I've seen a lot of things. But out of Africa, in Guyana, got the most racial black people out of Africa. Not forgetting the decent one who have nothing to do with it. And out of India, got the most confused Indian out of India. Very corrupt like them Indian ancestors. You don't know how to trust them. But you also have good ones. One friend asked me a few days, George, Guyana have 6 people, 6 different races. How you only addressing 2? I says, if you have a flood and you have a fire, but you have a little rain coming down and heavy breeze blowing, which one will you address? They say we have to address the fire and the flood. So I'm addressing the blacks and the Indian. One is corrupt, vindictive, presumptuous, covetous, very spiteful, while the other one is racist. But no development also. The Indian, with all their corrupt, they are people who want to develop because they want to do better than their brother and their sister and their neighbors, competition. It is hurtful to see a country like Guyana that does not belong to the East Indian descendant or African descendant, since knowing you have denied your birthrights by day of arrival, and I know your visa in run out as yet, so there's no departure. And also your emancipation, call you free, but you love to be in prison. My friends, English language is a delicate language. You have to understand it. So before you open up your mouth and use word, analyze it quick. We have seen in Burma, Idi Amin country, Mugabe, what takes place with foreigners living there, even who born there. We have seen what happening now in South Africa and many other parts of the world. But I call upon you, the two major races. Stop it. Unite. PNC is not a black man party, as they are saying. No, PPP is not a Coolie party. And on the internet, I have seen somebody say that the PPP is Black People Party. I had to laugh, because little do those people know the PPP begins with at least 83% of black people. Get UC Guyana, get the same Hamilton Green, Llewellyn John, and those old people who are still alive to tell you the truth. So they got to say, before the end comes, everything will come back to the way it used to be. Why we have to have a PPP and a PNC and not a UF, not a URP, NRP, and other political party? Did we sign a contract that we belong to them? If the PNC was doing good, we would support them. But when you start with racism and discriminating in every way, and some of your ministers openly say help the PNC people, right there is a no-no. Since I also announced out of every 10 Indian women get a baby in the public hospital, 7 or 8 of them died with the baby, I noticed it stopped, or unless they don't want the news to come out. Is that carelessness? Or is that a part of the extorting plan to annihilate the Indian race? I'm only asking a question. Excuse me. These things happen. I am fed up. When you, the East Indian descendant, I got your blood in me, don't get me wrong, as much as the black. You are praising Mother India and Africa, but you are not accepting the country from which your ancestor, both of you, came into, whether by slavery or cheap labor. Cheap labor is only a sense of saying you are free, but you're also a servant, which is automatically the original thing. You are a slave to the emperor, the king, or whoever they are for a price. Which means that's all you value what they pay you. Today, you are the inheritance of countries that does not belong to you. But you claim Mother Africa and India. And a lot of you condemn the Africans and say they sold you to the white man. You also be lucky they do it. But not modern day Africans do it. The ancestors, what did they know that other people didn't know? Would have been better for them to line you, your family up and shoot everyone? Shoot them with arrow and bow and throw spear at them? I was the best thing, sold them so they become useful to society. Again, I'm tired repeating this. Y'all are some of the greatest singers and dancers, actors and actresses. Millionaires and billionaires and pilots and doctors and scientists. You have flushing toilet water in your house. You could jump under a shower. While still in Africa, many parts of it, your people still grudging water in big bucket for distance. Friends, civilization got far more to go. But whether it was done by the European, or the Indian, or the blacks, or the Chinese, or whatever, it was the way to enter into the next stage of life. Look at today, the computer and the telephone with your children. Look what is going on. Many 100 years was donkey, horse, mule, and camel. And even oxen. Today is cars, plane, helicopters, small boats. You name it, you have it, motorcycle. These things had a price. And it came a long way. It is time for we to stop playing this race game in Guyana and think of the futures of the next generation. I think those who intermarry with any race should be given an award because they have broken the racial tension and barrier in that department. My friends, every race have good and bad. And every race have people who think and very ambitious. Do not, for God's sake, let your politicians continue lying to you. Judges and magistrates and prosecutors and police who lock up innocent people, strip them and beat them. You have children and grandchildren. What goes around comes around. You're not going to escape it. Not everybody going to leave you to God. Some going to send you to meet Him. Look how the world is changing. We blame the Arab men and women when they go in the mosque or go in and blow up themselves and kill others. They have a message, ladies and gentlemen. It is better to die than to surrender to these kind of oppression. in the world. We don't have long to live. Why not we use our time to do what is right for humanity? Today we have seen people all over the world are running from Africa, India, China, and elsewhere. And where they are running to go? Indians are not running into Pakistan and Bangladesh, no, they are not going into India. They are running to the European country, the white man country, as you call them, Bakra, Massa country. That's your word for them. No African are running to Kenya, Nigeria, Botswana and being welcomed to live like one, their tribal affair and a nationality problem. They are running to the white man country. In every race there's good and bad, but you cannot be insulting a man's race and want to go there. If it's 10 of you and only your life matters, you think they can allow the other 90 to be 100 to enter? Come on, man, get sense. Will one of you sleep with 10 snakes on your bed when one bites you? I will tell you what, that can never happen. Why everything happened out of Africa, in the Caribbean, Guyana, and elsewhere, especially America? If it's white and a black problem, is racism. Guyana, if it's Indian and black, is a racism. Jamaica might be different. Trinidad is a racial problem too. Grenada, well, they are little, so we don't know much of that. And little St. Lucia. But what I'm saying to you here today is what matters. Whether you are an Indian or you're black or you're Chinese or you're European and you break the law of the land must be kept and must be go forward for the benefit of the future of the generation. We are calling on the Ali government to open up the doors to people in the Caribbean and for millions of people that is fleeing aggression in their country, gangs-related problem, and give them land to build their house, but make your law. We will not tolerate drug lords and drug-intoxicated problem, raping, whorehouse, and a rum shop to be open after 7 or 8 o'clock in the night. Buy your liquor at the supermarket and go home. We will have to have a lot of sting operation for corrupt judge, magistrate, police, prosecutor, and others. And if those who are attained by the law to obey and honor the law and keep it, break the law, they shall and must be judged with severely. The 65 ministers in parliament are workers. You hire them to give them a job. But they make laws to protect their self-interest and protect their friends and family, while you are the target. Think of it. I heard a lot of Amerindian women have been raped, maybe by their own Amerindian people. But the Guyana government cannot interfere with that because they have the chief in the 9 tribe. And they should deal with that in the right way. Same as you cannot put a black person or Chinese or Indian or Portuguese to represent Guyana in no territory business against Venezuela, Brazil, Suriname, French Guyana, or Norway, because you are the descendant of cheap labor and you're right. And you, the black man, claim you was a slave and you are free, but you're not going back home, but you're still talking about slavery. You have to understand where this world is heading, friends. You, the decent Indian and blacks, I congratulate you, and may God open up the door to your generation. We see in America, when the white police arrest a black person, is racism. We see the other day on the train, it's alleged the young man who killed the black brother by choking him. They say it's race now. It comes down to white and black racism. But according to information on the daily news, it's alleged, someone told me, I don't know, it's alleged, that the man was trying to rape a 6-year-old girl. I don't know how true it is. I said it's alleged, I said it was on the news. and the man get involved to stop it. But what amazed me, I'm living in a house with a young girl who have a little discipline in her head. She was run mentally ill sometime and attacking. God forgive, I hope, her mother and the rest of the family could try to save her or she could save herself. But if one day I get a call to somebody, she attacks somebody, and they kill her, I will sorry for her, but I will lift my hands and praise God. One is out. She will not be tortured, humiliated, and insulted, and live on taxpayer money. It may sound unfair, ladies and gentlemen. How many, and they said the brother who was murdered, he got 42 arrests. Well, if you got 42 arrests and you still walk in the street and you're mentally ill, I blame the government. You should have a metal ban for people know that you are mentally ill. Okay? And therefore, you have to understand what we are dealing with. How many mentally ill people did not push people in front of the train and stop people and kill them? In Harlem or Brooklyn or some other place, a policeman was called by a mother where her mentally ill son was beating her or attacking her. And when the police them get there, they shoot him down on the stairway or wherever. But how many times policemen was not killed by these lunatics because they're mentally ill, they're sick? I blame the government for that, for not taking care of them. Ladies and gentlemen, no man or woman wants to leave their house in the morning or in the day, going to work to pay tax to upkeep those who are sick. And they are out there as a menace to society, attacking people because you do not know what is going through their mind. I am sorry the young man lost his life over the choke. But people are saying the man should go to jail. Well, let me tell you all here something. We got a lot of madmen as president in the world. And the quickest thing they can do when they don't get their way, sanction country and bomb nation. So what we will do with them? But everything have a policy. It have a reason. But then we have a democratic society. We must stop this BS about black and white, because white people kill more white people than they kill any other race. World War I and World War II. The Irish were slaves. The Portuguese were slaves. The East Indian was slave and still slave in India, economically now. And in Africa, 1.9 million West Africa children are in the cocoa field and other place as slaves. It's alleged, according to information, a Frenchman do a documentary and they butcher him with machete. My friends, don't let these politicians play with words to get you fighting each other. It is time for we to talk about the human race and stop discriminating against color. Man was created by God. Whether you call it white man, Chinese man, Indian man, black man, mixed man, buck man, it is man that God make. And he said, oh man. But we are not going to get into the scripture. I call upon all priests for a day of fasting and praying. And I call upon the Guyana President, Mr. Ali, to build 150,000 houses so a man, his wife, and a kid can have their own home instead of squatting and renting, and open up the doors to the Caribbean and Africa and India and make your law. Let's show the civilized world, as a president calls some country shithole country, that our shit can be manure and cosmetics for the future of the next generation. We call on Jesus, but we won't go to heaven. We call on Muhammad, but we discriminating against Christians and Hindus. And we call on Ram and Krishna and Bhagwan, and we discriminating against Islam and also Christianity, but we won't go to heaven. Which father want 3 or 4 corrupt children to fight in his house? he may commit suicide. So I call upon all of you on this living day. Stop the racial talk. Let's unite and make this world a better place so all of us can enjoy it in our time of departure and leave our children with a golden opportunity. Let's unite and worship our God through the name of all your prophets. Peace be unto all of you. And I am your host, George Correa, and please subscribe to the channel and press the bell. Nothing unfair. Have a good day. Peace.